Hi, I'm Jaipal Caleb and you're listening to Daily Newsings. Daily Newsings are musings on the daily news. For today's newsing, we look at the funeral that was recently conducted for the Yala glacier in Nepal. Scientists and local residents gathered together to mourn the death of the Yala glacier, one of the many glaciers in the Himalayan ranges. Over the years, the glacier has completely melted and the glacier no longer exists. Such funerals have been conducted for a few other glaciers over the years, the OK Glacier in Iceland and the Ayoloko Glacier in Mexico being two such examples. As Christians, this incident should prompt us to reflect on two equally important things. As more and more glaciers melt away in this manner, it reminds us of the rising temperatures on Earth. The average temperature on the surface of the planet has been increasing over the past many decades. But why does this matter? Firstly, it is an aspect of stewardship. The Bible teaches that God created the earth and charged humanity with ruling over it. Such a rule comes with responsibilities towards the welfare of the earth. Non human life on earth has been placed under the rule of humans. The questions we must ask ourselves is this: does our rule over the animals and plants and the processes of the earth show us to be image bearers of God? When we see the melting away of glaciers, does that reflect the rule of a humanity that is imaging God or one that is rebelling against God? We are created to care for nature, not to exploit nature for our own purposes. Secondly, it is also a question of love for our neighbor. When the climate around us changes, it affects the lives of people. For instance, entire people groups who have built their civilizations or livelihoods based on the existing climatic conditions would have to change their lifestyle because those conditions no longer exist. The absence of a glacier might mean the drying up of a river. This could affect all the communities that depend on such a river in one way or the other. The conducting of the funeral for the glacier must also strike us in some ways as absurd. Why a funeral? Perhaps there is some valid justification, it might help draw attention to the vulnerability of the ecosystem around us. But as Christians, we must never forget that it is only humans who have been created in the image of God. Without the biblical framework, humans fall prey to viewing everything in nature as worthy of equal honor and care. While we must reflect the image of God in the way we rule over the earth, we must also remember that we live in a sin-infected, broken world. This often means that we must make hard choices. It means resources are limited, and prioritizing the needs of our fellow humans might involve compromising the well-being of the environment or of non-human life. We must remember that God gave us the earth also as provision for humans. Therefore, human life should always have a priority over non-human life or non-life environment. Caring for creation is good and necessary. But in a broken world, sometimes we must make the hard choice of sacrificing the welfare of creation. We should never be okay with such sacrifices for the sake of increasing profits for the rich or increasing comforts for the privileged. We should only be okay with such hard choices for the sake of prioritizing human life. For instance, a lot of harm to the environment has been done due to scientific advances in farming technologies, for example. But such advances have lifted millions out of poverty and prevented millions from starving. In such cases, although it harms the environment, it was still done to save human life, and that is good. Yet when we do raise concerns about caring for creation, we do not do it because the environment is as important as human life. We do it because we are concerned with rightfully imaging God in our rule over nature, and we do it out of love for the marginalized who will be impacted due to changing climate. Faithful Christians need to hold both these truths simultaneously. We are to care for creation in a manner that reflects the image of God. We are to prioritize human life always, even if that comes at the cost of creation care. Thank you for listening to Daily Newsings.